Welcome, welcome, everybody to the CyphaDen chat in association with the Denkin podcast, where we want you to.
And the podcast.
There we go. All right. I'm
It
your
worked
host,
this
Tayamu.
time?
It kind of worked. It's a little muffled still, but we'll work on it. I'm your host, Tayamu Denkin. This is the homie, Pestilence. Always has a different name. Pestrodamus tonight, apparently. He just freaks it differently. And tonight, special guest, I'm just going to call you Fighter because you have many different things that you have done with fighting. So Jenny Savage is in the building. What is going on?
Oh, nothing much. We leave in Nashville now, headed home to Clarksville. We just had our first major, well, not major, but like heavy training session since my last fight. How are y'all?
I am exhausted from working all day today. But but yeah, I don't know how Pestilence is. You would have to.
I'm also exhausted from not sleeping very well for like over a month almost.
Yeah, I mean we did a I don't know if you saw part of it. We did a 21-day music tour in
Oh
October,
shit.
and we got back. What was that? End of October, like October 23rd, I think was the last show. But we were gone from October 3rd to the 23rd. 21 shows, 21 days. Shit was pretty crazy. It was dope. But I need like 4 full days of recovery after that shit. I mean,
I had
I'm
0.
yeah. I mean, I'm older now, and I'm like, man, it ain't like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to be able to do tours, no problem. But this was technically the longest music tour I've ever done, so it was a little exhausting. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
Yeah, I remember you. You told me that I had to hold off on the this podcast until you guys came back home. So yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And then,
Congratulations,
oh,
badass.
thank you. I appreciate it. We unfortunately didn't come through, you know, the Tennessee area, so I couldn't invite you out to one of the shows. I have, however, played Nashville and Memphis before in the past because I've been touring since 2015, 2016, something like that. Um, so I have played out in that area before. Cool vibes. Um, but yeah. So I want to know where you wanted to start fighting. Where does that all come from? Like, where did fighting start for you?
It started when I was a kid. Honestly, I was lying to my mom about having bad grades, and I would just sneak off to the boxing academy that was close by, and I would just ride with my friends. And then when it came down to me having to get her a physical form because I was a child fighting adults, uh, my mom was like, "Why do you need a physical?" And then it happened a couple years after that. That was in middle school. A couple years later, I tried it again with wrestling. I really wanted to. I just have like a fighting as a calling, and then my mom also got mad because I was supposed to do the chair TC, which I did for a little while, but I wanted to trade the Raider team with wrestling, and she didn't at the time think that females had a place in fighting, especially wrestling. She thought that was a boy sport. So I gave it some time. Got into some trouble, and I got so stressed out over the trouble when I turned 18 that I turned to my significant other now. I found him. We known each other from school. He was on the wrestling team, and I said, "Look, I got so much stress. I would like to have an MMA fight." He said, "You're not ready for one." I said, "I don't give a shit. I'll train right now." So then I won the first one. The rest is history.
Mm, that's what's up. Yeah, because I did see you had, I mean, yeah, you had an MMA background as well as boxing, and clearly now you're in bare knuckle. But you're also doing other things. Like I saw you were in was it the Misfit boxing? You did a title fight in there, and then you also just recently did like a MMA fight in like your hometown, right? Like you just did that recently.
Yeah, it's like a shoot fight for pro wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I mean, you've been all over the place doing things.
Hey,
I mean,
you gotta stay active. I mean, I consider myself a well-rounded mixed martial artist.
I checked the record. I checked. You had a lot of submission finishes in like the amateur into like you had a lot of submission games. So yeah, clearly I would definitely say that. So does Savage come with your fighting style? Is that where the nickname comes from?
It comes from two different things. So it was a homage nickname to the Macho Man Randy Savage, because
Mm.
I feel like when
Yeah.
lose draw, oh yeah, he always he always seems like he wins because I felt like that's where the direction of my career was going. I was never always an A side. I was more on a B side, which is harder to win. You can't leave things in the hands of the judges. You tend to have to go outside of your county or your state and fight people who are set to win, the favorite. And I believe that it's his persona that I've adopted that has allowed me to seem victorious no matter what the outcome is. The other part is anytime somebody goes back and forth with me online, I flame their ass. So he's like, "Damn, she's savage."
Both of those
I don't
rules.
start it.
Hey, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do.
Right.
Thank you, Nev.
It's it's hilarious that you mentioned the Macho Man Randy Savage because Pestilence does an excellent Macho Man impersonation.
You got me with the fucked up fucking throat right now. I still will do it.
Period.
There's nobody. I mean nobody out there that could ever match the cream of the crop. Ooh, yeah. Number one everywhere. And all these other people, they're nothing. Just a bunch of dust.
It's,
That's a great impression. Great job.
you know what's hilarious is we just had this show in Green Bay, and and he's been doing it at shows like to intro songs and shit.
Yeah, that's fresh. Yeah, he's dope. Like I said, um he's always victorious no matter what. He's the champion of champions. He's he's the man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does rule. And like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the backstage talk that people talk about how he was before fights, but I saw one where Jake the Snake Roberts said that on that scene where he had him bite him with the snake, he said the only reason that happened is because Macho Man was like not he was really skeptical of getting bit by the snake, so he made Jake the Snake bite himself with the snake first to make sure it wasn't poisonous. So then Jake the Snake
Yeah,
was like, so I really paintbrushed that snake before I latched it onto him, so it really got him good.
I was just talking about that last night in my stories. That's actually
So
one of my
good.
favorite matches of his.
Yeah.
So good.
You also were asking questions last night randomly. I saw this, and we both have a similar liking to Pulp Fiction and Tarantino movies, which is super dope because
Yeah.
Tarantino is my shit. And that actually inspired where last night I fucking threw on the Django at before bedtime. Definitely have to rock out.
Yeah.
I'm
You
pretty
got
sure.
about like what 20
Oh,
minutes
that's
of the
fresh.
Hateful
Yeah.
Eight?
What? Wait, hold on, Pestilence. What you say?
You got about 20 minutes of the Hateful Eight while we were on tour?
Yeah, that is all I watched before I passed out. Hey man, tour life is hard, man. Tour life is hard. But Yeah. So you're starting to work out. You're starting to do heavy workout routine to get ready for next fight. Can you speak? Do you have a next fight already ready to go in the chamber? Can you speak on that, or is that something we got to
Yes, I
wait?
believe that they said that they are gonna book.
All right.
And down goes Frazier.
And down goes Rachel. I think it's because she's driving.
Yeah, it's definitely because she's driving.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, and we had that issue.
My bad. My
Sorry.
bad. My bad. I'm back. I'm back.
I think we lost you because you're driving.
Yeah, I'm driving. Hey, it's the connection issues. My bad.
It's all good.
There we are. Okay, I'm back in it. So maybe it was the promoters that heard me about to leak details. No, but we have two options. Honestly, we were given a third option, but I declined it because I don't mesh well with this certain promotion, and they they disrespected me about a couple of years ago, and I want an apology with tears because I was just out of pocket. But in February, we're thinking we'll have a matchup, hopefully for Misfits. I'm trying to work with the BKFC again, make something shake. I do know that my last opponent, Elle Brooke, she's definitely interested in rematching me, but I know that she's got somebody she's eyeing. So we have to we have to wait for her to get that fight going, and so that it makes sense. Because I was a replacement for Paige Van Zandt, and so she has to fight her again. Depending on how that goes, I know that there's something there. I personally, shout out to Carla. Um, Carla is the 112 champion of Misfits. I'm anticipating a match with her. The sky's the limit. We got several opponents. I actually would love to fight B Win. She's actually down to fight me. Again, it's just got to make sense to Mams and the promoters over there at Misfits. So I'm just getting in where I can fit in as far as whatever's available.
That's what's up.
Awesome.
I didn't realize I had to research because I didn't realize what Misfits was. I didn't know that uh KSI runs that? Is that who runs that?
Yeah,
Am I, like I
yeah, that's
didn't
his promotion.
yeah, like
He,
yeah, like I wasn't familiar with it until I researched it and broke it down. And yeah, so that's dope. I mean, yeah, that would definitely be another dope fight
yeah,
opportunity for you. I
yeah, my coach
guess
found it. Honestly, a lot of people were.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my coach he pulled some strings and hit up some people, and they had that opportunity because Paige just decided she needed more time, and Elle Brooke just didn't want to wait. She's been training her butt off. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I was the lucky lady that got this opportunity, and now I'm in there. So I'm ranked. I do enjoy not cutting weight. Being at this weight class has caused me to gain so much more weight. So I'm trying to keep it at a minimum and try to figure out a sweet spot. And hopefully we can get the 115, 112 weight class in this weight. It's hard. Once I go up to 125, I'm destined for 135, 140, and that's not near my weight class.
Mhm. Yeah, I think we've Pestilence, you've talked about um cutting weight before being I think we had talks with fighters before about cutting weight and we asked them, dang, bro,
Need
the
to
ca-
miss out on
She's
it.
still here.
My bad, yo.
oh, you are still here. Maybe the camera?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think we're in traffic, and I think when I'm around a lot of people, it steals all my bars.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually true.
Well, Pestilence, you got a question? You ask a question.
Yeah, I'm actually curious because you mentioned that you had a shoot fight, with like professional wrestling
Say that
thing.
again?
You said you had a shoot fight with the professional wrestling thing, and then you talked about Macho Man. So obviously there's a
Yeah.
little bit of a fandom and like a dual respect there with like what they do there. Um, is that something that you ever see yourself potentially pursuing one day? Is getting into like professional wrestling and
Oh yeah. Yeah, my goal is to eventually wrestle for JCW, the Juggalo Championship Wrestling. They just crowned their first female. I actually got to fight a different shoot fight. This was an actual boxing match versus this last one was like it was what would you say the contest was? The Grand Prix of Sport. So it's sort of like I had to use grappling MMA, but I wasn't allowed to hit her in the head. So whereas in the JCW, I actually had a boxing match against another juggalette and I won. So that was fresh. I got to fight in front of Violent J, and it was at the gathering of the Juggalos. So I was originally set to wrestle for them, but I already have my mentor. What I promised him, so that he could get this match with WWE TNA wrestler Low Key against his student. So if I was to win, that Adrian would get his match finally after 3 years of preparing. So we had to make that happen first before I could go on to JCW. Or I was looking at a show in Japan, but it's all in all, I'm here to enhance and assist my mentor in his journey to greatness for pro wrestling. So yes, I have a lot of respect for pro wrestling, and I think that it's underappreciated as all around a part of martial arts that is just it just deserves so much more respect, especially when there is more of a feel for MMA within it, which is what I like about the Japanese style pro wrestling.
yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think a lot of people see what's on TV and think it's all this is all just scripted and these people are just actors. And it's like, well, even if you do consider that, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're able to accomplish and look at the choreography is incredible in some of
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff. So it's
oh, you
just
could die. You could
you could
die in that.
die. Yeah, the
Yeah,
people have.
yeah,
So
yeah. More people die in pro wrestling than boxing and MMA. So
yeah.
people don't think about that though, because so what? It can be scripted. Mine certainly wasn't. I just wasn't allowed to use certain um, things that I'm good at. I had to use more jujitsu. I had to kick everything under the, the chin and under. You know, I couldn't
Mm.
do head strikes. So I guess you could say in that regard, it's sort of choreographed. But even if it was fully choreographed, you have to still get in there. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I was more exhausted after this match than any match that I've ever had, MMA match or boxing. I have never felt so tired afterwards. So
Mm.
it's as real as it's more real than it seems. That's for sure.
Right. That's it's cool to hear that side of things. I think a lot of people don't get to hear about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah, for sure.
the people that hate on professional wrestling that do say like, oh, it's scripted and shit like that. I'm like, bro, you act like you would really want to fight these people for real, like they wouldn't be able to fuck you up in real.
Oh yeah, and you know when you come across a martial artist that just so happens to do pro wrestling, they're gonna have a bad time.
And they're gonna look so cool doing it to you.
Oh yeah, just like people who storm the cage or the ring. Yeah, they
Yeah.
ask them. Ask them. They get a real ass whooping. That's for sure.
So what's Jenny Savage's top? I don't know. Should I do a top five? I'll do top three workout joints right now. Songs.
Okay. Oh my. So, okay. So that's that. Really, I love Young Dolph. I miss him. But I love also so anything Young Dolph. Number one. Lately I've been listening to excuse me, Ouija Mac. I really like his latest album, which is Dark Planet. So a number of them songs, specifically, I like that song, Mac Mode. That shit is sick. And then honestly, I want to say anything Nicki Minaj, Pink Friday too. So that's my go-to.
All right, word up, word up,
Thank you. It's like you guys are twins.
bro.
He loves Nicki Minaj.
Stop it right now.
I'll need to add some of y'all stuff to my playlist. So whatever's y'all's top 3 or top 10, it don't matter. Send it my way. I'm gonna add it.
Word up, word up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I actually saw a really dope. I mean, clearly R.I.P. I saw a really dope Young Dolph mural in Memphis.
So that too. Yeah.
That was that. Yeah. Obviously, you know, you hate when artists you know go too soon. That should definitely not be going too soon. So what got you into Juggalo music? Curious.
Oh man, when I was about 4, man, as far as I can remember, I grew up. I was born and raised in Clarksville, but we would go back and forth from Clarksville to Franklin, Indiana, and it was a really heavy Juggalo scene over there. And I just remember listening to the Ringmaster, uh, uh, the Great Malenko, Twisted, Dark Lotus, just a bunch of other great psychopathic artists, honestly, that my uncle and my mother would just jam out to. And my cousins were heavy in the scene. They would go to the first, like, around the 2000s, 2001 or so. When my little sister was born, my cousins would go to the first annual gathering. And I just remember how much fun that they had. They always wore their little hockey jerseys, and they were really free. Okay, and I just love that freeness. And honestly, it's always been a part of my family. But when my son's dad died, like, I was always down, but I became more down recently after my son's dad died during the pandemic, because I had I struggled a lot with my own mental health. And while I'm a Christian and I'm serious about my faith, I felt like I could never really find anybody that understood the oddity part of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of it was confusing. I feel like a lot of people were taking advantage of me and my depression, and trying to figure out my purpose and my identity. And whenever I got to go to one of the concerts that was here in Nashville, it was the Three-Headed Monster tour. They came to Nashville, Violent J, Esham, and Ouija Mac, and then I got to discover artists like um, Shaggy the Airhead and Darby O'Trill. It just kind of like re-evoked like my why and the entertainment aspect of fighting. It just made me feel free again, like I did when I was a teenager. So I just love that I could just express myself in more of a free way. And I don't think that I don't care about any judgment. And that's exactly the way of the Juggalos. And, honestly, I feel like I'm sort of hated in the BKFC because for a number of reasons. One of the reasons I feel I just wasn't as into the OnlyFans aspect, and that's okay. I mean, I'm not judging nobody else. It's hard to be sexy when you're depressed. So I felt hated, you know what I mean? And honestly, Violent J kind of helped me get out of that funk when he hit me up one day, and it just so happened to be my birthday. After a loss for the world title, I was looking to fight for the 115 BKFC world title, and it didn't go my way. I had a lot of problems with trust and a whole lot of things with my team, and just things just didn't go out the way I wanted it to. But when he hit me up, everything kind of changed, and it just gave me that light. And so now I'm going even harder than I did, because they just reminded me that I'm not alone, and that meant everything to me. So yeah, shout out to Violent J and ICP and everybody at the Psychopathic and Chapter 17 homies over there.
That's what's up. The thing I mean, I've definitely played Juggalo shows. I'm more, I mean, golden era boom bap shit is basically what I do, but and pestilence, that's kind of where we're at, like Arlene. But the thing about the Juggalo scene that I've always respected is if you do some hip hop shit, like they respect you, they fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never done any show with any Juggalo dudes where they were on some hater shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From
That is
what
true.
I did.
Yeah,
I've
that
never
is
had
true.
any. Like they've usually fucked with what I do. So uh I always respected that always. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing that I've seen is at a lot of the gatherings recently, they've had like artists like the shit that I do. Like they've had like legendary people there rock, like Method and Redman. Um Onyx played there. Like I'm part of Onyx's label, like 100 Mad, and they had them play there one year. So like
RA
yeah,
played there, didn't he?
RA definitely played it, probably more than one time. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he played it more than one time. But yeah, that's dope. And Tesla, you talking that shit about the Nicki Minaj thing. Let me just tell you real quick for a second.
He's just
Uh,
gonna pull out like 6 vinyls and be like,
hold on. No. I'm not gonna do that. So I don't own any Nicki. I feel like Nicki Minaj has never got outdone on a song where she's featured ever by anybody.
That's true. That's true.
yeah, she
I wish it was.
she does always pull her weight, man.
She murders every feature she's ever been on. Like murders.
Yeah, that is true. It is true.
Yeah, man. They're always trying to make her redo her verses because she outshines them, and she just keeps outshining them. Each verse gets better. And I actually went to her Pink Friday 2 tour in Nashville as well. And oh my gosh, it was like a dream come true, man. She is such a class act. She still looks as great as she did when she first popped on the scene. So I love her too. I'm a bard.
Well, speaking of Nashville, speaking of Clarksville, what's the distance? That's like an hour, right? Maybe 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, from where I live.
So I always do this because I'm a foodie and Pestilence knows I do this shit. So favorite food spot ever in Nashville area. Favorite food spot.
Oh man, I was just talking about that. Hattie B. You can't beat Hattie B. I'll wait a whole 30
Talking
minutes.
about Hottie Bees, I fuck with Hottie Bees heavy. I've been there. I've been there. But you know what's crazy about my story about being there? We went there on tour and we were like, people were like, you're probably going to be waiting for a minute in the line. I was like, oh man, well, sometimes you just got to do that shit. But we got there at this weird time to where there was
Yeah,
literally no fucking line of people. We walked
period.
right up there to the thing, ordered our shit, and then our homie that was going to meet us up there, he was like, man, I'll be up there in like 10, 15. I was like, bro, you going to be waiting now. I don't even know if you're going to get food now. Because now the line that we avoided completely is wrapped around the fucking building. So I don't even know what to tell you.
Oh, their mac and cheese is busted, especially with the hot chicken. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
how do
I'm
you
trying
beat?
to lose
But
weight, y'all. Y'all gonna make me get some Hattie B's.
you ever go to Arnold's?
Uh, honestly, no. I haven't really been in the Nashville scene too much. I honestly was just at the what is it, the water park, Beach Bend, and I just decided that day. I said, man, let's get some Hattie B's because I seen it on one of the food channels. I just try to avoid altogether unless I'm in the actual club. I think what club was it? Tootsie's. I try to avoid it for the most part. I mean, other than that, we've eaten at places like the Nissan Stadium. I mean, it's expensive out here, so I tend to eat more at home, and then we go to Nashville. So
Mm,
that's kind of how I do
okay,
it. Go to the local taco joint.
I feel that.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm cheap.
so
Arnold's was cheap.
Hattie B, let me ask you if you know this about them. Have you ever seen? Because my homie that I went on the tour with, where we stopped there, he had
Yeah.
actually he showed me this one day, and he was like, He's like, bro, you ever fuck with these? And then he pulls out this bag and he literally ordered it. And like Hattie B's has a fucking bag of chicken skins.
Yes. Yes, I've actually ordered them. I've ordered their chicken skin chips. They
Yeah,
got them. Order them bitches. It's delicious. I've
they're
actually brought my
good.
old man.
They're good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I didn't even know what to expect. And then I saw them once on the road and I was like, well, let me fuck with these because my homie ordered them. He said they were fire. So let me fuck with these. Plus, I've been to the actual restaurant. So I was just like, but that's crazy that you said that spot because that's my favorite Nashville spot I've been to.
That's
So,
just staple.
but
You
man,
ever been to the video game? The all adult video game place? I forgot what it's called. Next time you're in Nashville, you guys should go. You guys should hit that place up. It's just for adults. And they
what
got
is
all the vintage video games there.
is it called Up Down?
Yes, yes, that's exactly what it's called.
So
That was fresh.
we have one of those in Milwaukee. Have you ever been to Milwaukee?
Ah, man, I need to travel more. I've been more in the south and the west, but not so much in the north. That's in the north, right?
Oh yeah, but don't
Yeah,
try to
yeah.
make her go to Milwaukee.
No,
Go to
no,
Madison.
no. Why you gotta? Milwaukee is dope though. It's just hood shit where I'm at. That's just what. Why you got? Come on, man.
Where you're at is like
Why you gotta hate on the city?
it's like a 20-mile radius. The city hates on you and me.
Yeah, but
I hear y'all got some good beer though.
We do have well, we just have a lot of it.
Oh,
We just have a lot of it here.
okay, okay.
I
It's
mean, people.
cheap here.
Yeah, but people travel here literally to get the new Blair shit. They
That
do
is
do
true.
that.
Spotted Cow is really, really good. The Line and Kugel brand is up here. There are really,
Yeah.
really good local, like Hinterland is awesome. But then we also have like the everywhere we go outside of here, there's nowhere I've seen that has beer cheaper. Like our beer's so fucking cheap if you go to the bar. It's
I'm
hard to
German, so
not find a
we
bar
are.
that has they have like dollar tap 16 ounce like Budweiser and people just sit there
Damn,
and drink Budweiser for hours.
damn. That sounds like fun. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I had to stop my partying so I can get back to training, and I vowed that I'm not gonna go back to partying until I get what I'm set out to get. But that being said, I'm gonna get it, and when I do, I'm gonna have to come through, have like a little tour.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
there's
word
many
up.
good party spaces in the state, that's for sure.
Really,
Yeah.
that's fresh.
Pets, you got something?
Uh, Gonna hit me with the Chuck Knobloch fastball.
Oh yeah, I hit you with it, son.
Right back to the chest, dude. Sweet chin music. Um, I'm curious because you said that you've already kind of talked about music a little bit. You've talked a lot about fighting. Is that pretty much just like all you focus on, or are there other hobbies or other things that you're interested in that you do like movies or art or
Um,
anything like that?
oh man, I'm pretty good at drawing, but however, that's what it is. It's just fighting for me. It takes up all of my time. Other than that, I'm a sleep connoisseur. I love sleep. Um, I love sleeping. I dream about many things. I don't smoke weed. I used to, but since I got into pro, not pro wrestling shit, that's what would make me smoke weed shit if I did that full time. But the world title stage, I let that go. I felt like it was kind of holding me back because it's a game of millimeters instead of
Right.
inches. You feel me? So I had to make sure that I was that much more prepared than my common competition. So I sleep, and when I sleep, I dream very vivid dreams now. Whereas when I used to get high, I didn't dream at all. But I actually got a funny story. Part of the reason why I stopped smoking weed is because I stopped smoking for a little while because I had that world title fight and I had this last one, right? But before that, I went to it was a 420 and I went to go support one of my sponsors and I took one of them Delta 10s and I thought I was gonna die. I started tripping out, the walls started breathing.
It's the same thing.
You know, Yeah, I was like, dude, I guess that's what happens when you have no THC in your system and you're trying to play it legal because in Tennessee it's illegal. I talked to God real quick. I was like, God, I ain't never gonna do this again if you just make sure I don't die because I took way too much. Whereas, if I had the THC in my system, I wouldn't even it wouldn't even make a dent. I wouldn't even feel it at all. So when um when I started tripping out, it felt like my body was going through the ground. And I said, dude, I've done shrooms back in the day. I've done ecstasy, you name it, everything but crack and shooting up. I've never done the. Hey, that's what you do. I'm not judging. I'm just saying I never did that. But I've done some heavy psychedelic shit and nothing compared to them damn Delta 10s and Delta 8s. Uh, the night I took that shit sober. I promise to never do it again. Because I guess I don't know if I outgrew it. I was terrified to ever go through that shit again. So I drink every now and then, but for the most part, your girl's sober.
That's what's
That's
up.
cool.
Pass, you got to tell her the story, bro. You got to tell her the story from Tool.
Oh, the Richmond story. So I've always smoked. I've actually cut back a lot since tour because and it's not because of this instant, but because we were on the road, I just wasn't smoking as much, and then I found like, I'm able to do everything I want to do smoking, but it's like,
Yeah,
oh, being off of it, I'm just that much sharper, that much more with it, that much more motivated. So it's something that I still smoke, but I kind of just only smoke at particular times.
yeah,
But while we were on the road, everybody was giving me free weed everywhere we went, just without me
yeah,
asking, which was awesome. This guy in Richmond he gave me a vape pen, he gave me a bag of weed, and then he gave me edibles. And I have Crohn's. I've like had so many of my intestines taken out. Like edibles have never done anything for me. So I told Dad
right.
when we got back to the hotel, I was like, yo, these don't do shit to me. I'm gonna eat all of these and they're not gonna do anything. So I eat the whole bag of them, and then I look at it and there's 10 of them in there. And I read the bag and there was 600 milligrams each. So
Ooh.
6,000 milligrams of THC. And he immediately fell asleep. So I was just like time traveling under the bed, like having panic attacks. Like I felt like those cops that called themselves in when they ate edibles and they're like, we're dying. That phone call that went viral. That's how I felt. And I was like, dude, I'm ruining the tour. I fucked everything up here, dude. Becca's gonna leave me
Oh
in
my God,
Virginia. And then I woke up
dude.
and Deku's just standing there and he's like, how's it going? And I was like, way fucking better than it was last night, dude. It was completely out
Whoa.
of my system by the morning. I was good to go again, but it was like it all hit me in one big bundle of like you're gonna have 3 hours of feeling like you're not meant to be doing what you're doing. And it was like it's probably the highest I've ever been on marijuana. I was like, this is
Dang.
crazy. But I mean, I've had experiences because with all the health stuff, like I've been in the hospital on fentanyl drips. I've been on ketamine. I was on a double. It was like fentanyl and ketamine last time I was there. And now it
Yeah,
just like it brings you to these places that are just so unlike your regular state of consciousness that
yeah,
I think it prepares you if you ever take other things and then you end up, oh, I feel comfortable because I know this is temporary. I know I'm going to get through it. And I think that's like the number one thing if you're ever on anything is just to know that, like, all right, I'm going to get through this. Let's not make it worse, basically. Like,
yeah.
if something bad is going to happen to me, panicking is never going to make anything better. So let's just
Dude,
chill, sit here and watch. I can't remember what we were I think we were watching really old horror movies that day too. So that was tripping me out even more. I was like, "Oh man, what if Candyman is real?"
dude, I can totally relate because my thing was that I couldn't get my breath in sync with my heart. Like I couldn't, my heart kept beating hard. I started hyperventilating. Then I grabbed my partner. I said, I think I'm gonna die. He's like, you're not gonna die. And when I locked arms with him, it stopped. But he had to go use the bathroom, go do all kinds of shit. And I was like, don't let me go, don't let me go. And so usually what I do or what I've done in the past, when I was a teenager getting high, I would go and take a shower, especially when I did ecstasy and it got too much for me, my heart, irregular. And I was too afraid to pull back the curtain because I thought there was nothing there. And then I thought somebody was gonna stab me in the shower. And then like you're trying to turn the TV on, and it was like this truck commercial, And I was like, ah, shit, no, it's gonna come. I just start tripping. There was fucking ancient scribes on the motherfucking wall. I was like, God, dear God. And then there was like, I don't know if you felt this too, because it sounds like you had a similar experience. But did you hear like these? It's like a different language playing like really fast thoughts in your head.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what it did to me.
I get that often though. I get that without the drugs. I get the dreams too. Like when we were on tour, like I was having the craziest dreams every single night. I was having like 6 or 7 extremely vivid dreams, and then I would wake up and Denka would be like, "I'm gonna go get breakfast." I'll be like, "I need to unpack this."
Right,
So
right.
go have your breakfast. Go eat your bagel. I'm gonna sit here in a cocoon and just think about life for a minute. Come
Right.
back to this planet.
In a fetal position and shit.
Yeah. So it is. The mind is a crazy. It's probably the craziest drug any of us has ever taken. It's your own
Oh
thoughts.
yeah.
So it's
Oh
just
hell
like
yeah.
you can really it controls the whole show, and every once in a while it likes to let you know that. It likes to be like, hey, just remember who's in charge here.
Period. And that's exactly what I was like, dude, this is supposed to be legal. Like this is legal. Why the fuck am I tripping harder than I ever did on anything? Like, bro, I was so scared.
It's actually really funny because we did a show because Wisconsin is also illegal. So
Oh, okay.
there's all those Delta 8 and Delta 9 dispensaries and stuff. And we played a show
Yeah.
at one, and our friend, they're a duo, but one of them smokes a lot, the other one smokes a little, but thinks he smokes a lot.
Yeah.
And they both took, they were like these shots. They would pour the glass over it and then fill it up, and it was like a shot of smoke. And the one guy he's like, I'll do half of one. And he did half of one, and he was supposed to host the show, and he almost couldn't even perform. Like it took him like 3 hours outside having panic attacks, thinking he was gonna die. And he's usually the most level-headed, like chill, go with the flow person I know. And I'm out there like trying to talk him off the ledge. I'm like, dude, you're gonna be fine, man. You had a half shot of Delta, whatever this is, but you're gonna be fine. Like, just try to relax. He's like, no, I can't go in there, man. I can't go back in there. I was like, all right,
That's
I'll
good.
MC the show. You'll be fine. I don't know. And he,
That's what
yeah,
saved me is my boyfriend telling me, he goes, you're not gonna die. I was like, I'm not. He was like, no, you're not gonna die. You're fine. I was like, okay. So then I got to tell that rumination of you're not gonna die, and that made me breathe better. I was like, okay,
Mm.
I'm not
yeah,
gonna die.
he took more convincing because it took that, and I was like, the only way you'll die is if you stand up right now and walk 20 yards into traffic and get hit by a
Right.
car. But if you sit right here on this curb, I promise you, nothing bad will happen to you.
It is good to have people like that. Like you guys are, your positivity definitely makes a difference in those
Yeah, I mean,
environments.
I've been there before. I mean, I know what it's like. No one wants the guy that's shaking the boat when you feel like you're sinking, So it's like just chill out. Just chill out. We'll be all right. We'll be all good. And I think, from my own perspective too, I don't want to be around somebody that's having the worst time of their life either. So whatever I can do to kind of find us and let us meet in the middle a little somewhere. So neither of us is trying to have to make that giant climb. Because I mean, they probably don't have a choice if they're under some kind of substance. And then for you, it's like, you
Exactly.
don't want to shatter your whole thing. So your best option is to try to get them out of it a little bit, try to pick them up and help them out. But it's funny because every time we do shows and stuff, there's like always smoke circles and there's always people that do that kind of stuff. And I'll smoke and I chain smoke cigarettes. But Danku really doesn't do any of it. Danku will
Yeah.
have maybe one, maybe two drinks, and then that's it. He
Yeah.
never does any of that stuff. He just gets to be the guy that watches everybody make those mistakes and remember it
Yeah, I am that.
afterwards.
I am that guy.
He is.
Hey,
He's the
that's
I've,
how it
I've,
was
arbiter
for
of our
me.
misfortunes.
I've told people I've never been drunk in my whole life. Ever.
Oh, that's good. That's really
Yeah.
good. It's good to
And
have
he's
somebody
never been
like that.
hot.
No, I've never,
Yeah.
none of that.
That's like my man. He doesn't he loves being more in control of himself. So he tends to be the same thing, you know. He drives us where we need to go. Sometimes I'll bug him. I'll be like, I want some more. I want to drink some more. And he'd be like, God damn it. Excuse me, God, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's a good thing to have. I mean, I've been a bartender for about a decade, and I'm actually a bar manager now, but I like, it's always been ingrained in me when I've worked behind the bar. Fortunately, Wisconsin has, with anything that's signed up with the Tavern League, there's a free safe ride home. So there's like cab companies that should come and pick people up, but I've had issues with those in the past, and it's like I've always been like, all right, well, if you guys stay till the very end, like I'll drive you home. I can't leave, but if you stay till the end, I'll just bring you home. You can ride with me. And then, I work tomorrow at 2. I can pick you back up and bring you here. Don't drive. Like whatever you do, don't drive. I'll call you a
Perfect.
cab. I'll, take a bundle out of the bucket. Here you go. Here's some cab money. Go. Get home safe. Because at the end of the day, like to me, I feel like as somebody that does what I do, people getting home safe is definitely their responsibility first and foremost, but it's like secondarily my responsibility because I'm the one that's serving them. I'm the one that's got the clear head that can kind of, and I should know what the resources are in our area to be able to get people home safe if I'm doing my job like I like to do my job. Because I never want to hear somebody was at my bar and then they drove and wrapped their car around a pole, hit
Right.
somebody else and killed them. Like I never want to hear that. So I always try to go above, and it doesn't make me immune to having people still drive drunk from my bar, even knowing that about me, because
Yeah.
people are stubborn and sometimes people will just do it. But I feel like the more options you give somebody to avoid doing something like that, the better your odds are that they're not going to do.
Right. We need more people like that, especially where I'm from. If you know anything about Tennessee, everybody gets drunk on whiskey out here. So, um, it is more common to see these car accidents, DUIs.
Mm.
It's very common. Like it's almost like nobody judges people. I try my best not to judge nobody because you could kill somebody. Like you said, it's up to the drinker to drink responsibly and have these things in place for you to go home safe. There's Uber. There's so many different options. Like I've been blessed to have my man. He's never drunk. He's always level-headed. So when I go out, I always have a designated driver, but not everybody has that, kind of safety net. But yeah, it's almost like it's a non-judgment thing. You'll see somebody getting ridiculed in the comment sections of the news, and majority of people that's in there will be like, "Hey, don't judge him," like
Yeah, I got
everybody
two
gets
of them. Yeah.
yeah, dude, it's so common out here. It's kind of sad. So it's good to have people like yourself. We got liquor stores everywhere in Tennessee. We got bars everywhere. I mean, some parts of Tennessee, they have a different ordinance, I guess. But where I'm from, close by Nashville and all that, hey, it's like no man's land out here when it comes to that.
I mean, that's Wisconsin, 100. That's I did the reason, and actually, it's probably similar for Tennessee if you because you guys have so many big, whiskey and people who have, hands in the pot for it. That marijuana isn't legal there because the reason it's not legal in Wisconsin isn't because people wouldn't vote it in. It's because the Tavern League and the bars and
Yeah,
the beer companies are lobbying against it because it's
yeah,
competition and they never want that. But there's there's a bar everywhere. There's a liquor store everywhere. Every gas station, every Walmart, every grocery store sells alcohol, and
Mm.
it's everywhere. So it's like
right.
it's like an endemic built in, but also a social acceptance from the populace that, this is what people do. You could get caught with one joint and be labeled evil, or you could
Yeah,
get 5 DUIs and you're just cousin Jeff. It's a
yeah,
it's a weird culture that's been built around denial, I think is what it is that people that don't want to give it up think that that means no one else can give it up either, or the people are going to start looking at them like they're doing the wrong thing. So they want to be part of that majority. So they want other people to drink, and it's a
yeah,
it's a weird culture because I've never seen that with any other. I mean, I haven't been around any hard drugs, but like weed, people are like, "Oh, you don't smoke? Cool, more for me." Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's never that weird, they'll offer, but if you don't take it, there's no. I've never seen anybody pressure people for that kind of stuff, but alcohol all the time. people will.
For sure. And what's
Yeah,
crazy is if you're a heavy smoker, if you're just a regular smoker, you tend to not drink. Like I didn't really start drinking until I stopped smoking weed. So I mean, there's that. It's definitely competition between the two, the big alcohol and I'm starting to see that there's like a weirdness here in Tennessee where, you probably have the same thing. There's been a debate about whether or not that it gets laced, which I know it does. That's why my actual sponsor at the time, he was carrying tests so you could test your marijuana, your street marijuana. Because, we got dealers and stuff and they keep it real close to the fentanyl that they also sell out here, which is it's real sad to see, I don't know if this is appropriate to put out there, but
everything's
I'm
appropriate.
I'm concerned about the fentanyl issue because from what I see, I believe that it's an organ preserver, and if you know, you know. And people in the prison industry, prisoners can say, hey, they don't take that shit lightly. Anybody in their pod that gets caught with it, they tend to get beat up because they know that their stuff is being laced with it. Hopefully, nothing happens to me. I did not kill myself, but I feel like there's something more sinister with that being flooded in our streets and from a certain country. And I think it's real sad that, some people are like, nah, they would never lace. What kind of drug dealer would lace their marijuana? I don't think some of them do it intentionally. I just think that it's something that they end up pushing out in the streets. And whether or not it's is you know, I guess intoxicating as they say or lethal as they say it is or not, I don't know. But I do know that from the entire time that this stuff has been an actual problem, I've heard several different sources that this stuff preserves organs, and I feel like that's really what this whole trafficking thing comes down to. It's not just sex trafficking or regular human trafficking, but another different black market trafficking. So
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
crazy out here.
I could believe that. I mean, there's been proven, like crack being distributed into the inner cities,
Yeah,
done by our
yeah,
own government. There's stuff like that has happened as long as humans have had a societal structure. People that are at the top of that structure look for any way they can continue to stay at the top. It's kind of a weird cyclical thing, but it is scary to think about that kind of stuff and the ramifications of those things, because the fentanyl thing it seems like it came out of nowhere and now has
yeah,
become horrifying everywhere. Like Kensington, Pennsylvania is awful. When we were in I think when we were in
Manchester. We were in
Manchester,
Manchester, yeah.
there was so many homeless people, and we're like, how? It's so cold here. Why are there so many homeless people here? And I talked to the security owner at the club, and he said, it's because, and he talked to one of them one time who's been there for like 7 winters, and the guy said he's been all over the country, and they have the best fentanyl in the country. And he's
man,
like,
that's a damn
that's so
shame.
he stays there for that, and it's like that's terrifying that somebody would literally like they think that's a logical thought that like yeah it's the best fentanyl ever, why wouldn't I stay here, instead of
Right.
thinking like holy shit dude, this is your whole life, is this. And that's it is sad
Yeah.
to see and sad to think that there's people that are okay with sacrificing that and saying, okay, we'll call these people at the bottom that we don't know, that we're not tangentially related to, and then that way they can look at it more like livestock and
Yeah,
harvesting plants and stuff, where it's like, it's a living thing, but it's not so far away from what I am.
yeah,
It's basically not the same species. And that's what I think happens with a lot of those
man.
people is they justify it in that way, where it's like, they're not humans.
Yeah,
They're just meat. We're humans. And it's like, nah, no. I don't get down with that thought. And hopefully, eventually, one day, those people will all die. And then the people that take over are not that way. That's all we can hope
right.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we just got to keep being good people, stay on our integrity and try to raise up the next generation to strive for better things and be greater than what we could accomplish.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I fight.
I
Yes.
am curious because you mentioned integrity. We had Mark Hunt on very recently, and he's been fighting a legal case about the use of PEDs and the finagling of different like associations with fighters. Because he's like all it comes down to for him is he wants a fair fight. He said, you know, when you
Yeah,
get in
me
that
too.
cage with somebody, it should be a fair fight.
Hmm.
Is that something you've seen running rampant? Is people
Oh
abusing
yeah.
that system?
Oh yes. And it's a lot of people in my weight class because my weight class is known for getting like I could get killed quicker than the other weight classes because the smaller you are, the more weight that you have to cut. Any of these things, these factors, right? They could play a part in your demise. And so I feel like what's not fair is lately you're starting to see a lot of females take PEDs and EPOs that cause you to lose weight in the same day of weigh-ins. And they gain that weight right back the next day. So for me, I feel like it's not fair to have to fight some of these girls that are about 5'8" to almost 6 feet, and they drop down to 113 to 115. I think that's ridiculous when their actual competition at that height tends to fight at like 135, 140, 145. So I feel like it's a lot of these girls in my particular situation is not necessarily the same as a heavyweight who has to take steroids because the next big guy is taking steroids. Now that's a whole nother issue in itself. But where some of these promotions that I fought for, not misfits, as far as I know, but I do know there's other promotions that they don't test you unless you're fighting for a championship. And I'll tell you right now, I fought for a championship and I have not been tested. So who knows what they're taking? Now I know, like I said, and Misfits with Elle Brooke and all that, I know she's not taking no drugs. I know, there's people like Taylor Starling that doesn't take any drugs. But there's other people who I've accused of taking these drugs because they went from 124 to 113 in the same day. And I don't know how the hell they do it. As short as I am at 5'2", they want me to fight at 105 pounds, but I can't even get down there. I can't even get past 110, let alone 105. And so it's like they're doing them drugs to get to 115 so that they don't have to fight their competition. And it's a whole lot of bullshit, dude. And you could just tell when they get so aggressively angry at my accusation. I mean, it's like, if you're not cheating, then why are you so mad? Why do you literally say you hate me? Are you hiding something? Because I could never hate somebody who I'm making money with. Like that could never happen. You know what I mean? Unless you literally hate me and you're trying to take me out and you say rude things, personal things, all because you know that you're cheating. You know that I'm onto you. And like I believe that Britain Hart is has cheated. She's surrounded by people who cheat. Um, yeah, and I feel like she should be fighting people like Jessica Borga. But that I digress. You feel me? And yes, I'm calling names because I feel like majority of the people that I fought, I could tell when they actually are the weight that they're supposed to be. But there's some people who will win at any cost, and it's a detriment to people like myself who I have to keep my integrity in so many different ways. Like I feel like selling sex is okay, if that's what you want to do, but I feel like it's a two-way street as far as men and women that, if we're going to be having these kind of things that it shouldn't be pushed onto us. We shouldn't be punished if we decide to keep our clothes on or be more clothed than other fighters that do porn or sell sex in some form. Like they want to do some lesbian stuff. I don't care what it is, but we got little girls looking up to us who may not be as strong or talented, skilled, or surrounded by the right people that may settle for this digital pimping system. And a lot of people, they say, "Oh, I'm shaming these girls." I'm not slut shaming or whatever they call it. I just want to be who I am, just in case there are some beautiful girls out there that think that, they don't want to be considered whatever labels are out there as us female fighters. I feel like there should be a broad range of labels, I guess, if we're going to be labeled. And if you want to take the street where you want to be able to keep your clothes on and but be beautiful at the same time, you should be able to do that without being suffering some repercussions from anybody else on the outside or within the company.
Definitely, definitely should be.
Absolutely.
I mean, to be completely honest, like the whole reason uh that I started like watching BKFC or like, UFC shit is because the competitions were dope. I'm not watching it to check your OnlyFans link. Like I ain't trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not even why I'm watching this shit. But then seeing it pushed more has always been kind of crazy to me because it's like a professional fighting thing, and then that's I'm not knocking anybody that does do what you do, but that's personally for me. That's not what I watch the shit for. It's not. It's not to push that off on me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. It's just not fair, man. I know these girls got more resources because they have that extra income, but if I'm willing to not take that route, that should be respected no different than if I said I was gay or, whatever sexuality you feel you want to do, whatever you want to do with your body. If, you know, I don't want to be on that platform or other platforms alike. I've had somebody tell me, hey, we'll pay you the X amount of money if you just go ahead and get one. All you got to do is just post what you do on your Instagram. It's like, bro, I only post what I post because I feel like it. I want to do what I want to do. Like, I don't want to. I mean, if you want to make money doing that, that's perfectly fine. If you just want to cook fully clothed, I'm still not. I don't care what you do. I don't want that OnlyFans. I just don't want it because who knows who's going to be inspired by me, do the same exact thing, and then get told, hey, just show your feet. Hey, okay, just show your bikini. All right, do it topless. It's just like it's inching
Mm.
closer to something that you probably didn't have in mind for yourself. And some
Yeah.
people judge me because they're like, hey, will you take pictures of your cleavage or whatever, man. Bodybuilders do the same thing, man. Either way, that sex appeal still gets me the higher fights. Like my last fight was one of the most viewed uh fights. And yes, my opponent was a porn star, or she whatever she does with her life. I didn't even know she was a porn star until we were about to fight. And then they were like, do you know what your opponent does? I'm like, no, because I don't, like you said, I don't watch fighting for that. If you do, that's cool. And if girls, some girls they need to feed their kids. The pandemic was crucial. But when you got a son like I do, a teenager in high school who does not want to defend himself with martial arts, he wants to be a nerd. He wants to nerd out. He's a graphic designer and he wants to keep a low profile. But then everybody knows him as my son. Last thing my son wants is for me to slut it out. No offense to these girls. I mean that's kind of what they call it. Or show anything of my body outwardly. Like I don't want to make my son depressed just like his father was. So I
Mm.
mean, people don't think about shit like that and they just want to kind of punish you to the point where they think they're gonna starve you out. And it just sucks. I don't mean to keep rambling, but
Oh no,
it's
No,
no.
something
it's
that
it's a
it's affected me.
and I think it's an important thing because I think there's something to be said. This is all it all interlaces too with different things like all art forms, anybody that's doing entertainment, anything for money. There's all these other weird, creepy, lurking things that are trying to grab onto you and latch onto you and say, well, we'll give you this if you do this or you do that. And I think just doing things on your own term, like you mentioned with the Instagram, like, hey, just post this to this OnlyFans. Well, that's not on your terms anymore. That's on
Right.
their terms. And it kind of takes that freedom away from you. And I think for me, like, it's the same reason why, like, when it comes to music, like I love what we have. Like me and Danku are part of a group called CyphaDen. I'm actually in a studio right now with my other groups called Two Face Media, and it's like anything we want to do, we just get together and we do it.
Right.
I would never give that up for any amount of money or fame or anything because it steals the whole reason that I do this. It's like you said you were called to fight. This was your thing. It's like I was called much later to this in life, but once I found it, it was like it's not so fucking hard to breathe anymore. It's not so hard to ask
Right.
these questions. Why anymore? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I have this thing that fills all of those voids. Why would I ever taint that? For me, I could never do it, but and again, it's no disrespect to anybody else that does, but I think it's like
Right.
for who I am as a person, I couldn't possibly give up that flow that I have of just being able to do what I want to do and pursue what I want to pursue when I want to pursue it and not have these weird contractual ramifications attached to that stuff. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and then just like our girl, just like our girl Nicki Minaj, she don't have one, but you see her popping her shit on the stage, but she don't have to
Yeah.
do that. And that's where I'm at. I don't feel like I need to um I just want to be pretty. If I want to be on a fucking beach, I just want to be on the beach. That's just what I want to do, and I don't want to have to sell that. I feel like I'm already selling myself as a full package all in itself when people pick me to have these fights. And you know what? If I'm gonna be B-side fighter, I represent the underdogs, and I'm never gonna stop fighting until these promotions say, "Hey, you're banned. You're blackballed. We don't want you at all." And then when that happens, shit, on to the next thing. I'll probably fight for my own promotion at that point. But
Mm,
Hell
you
yeah.
know,
that's
there's
what's up.
sky's the limit, man. We shouldn't let people monetize every single little thing that we do. I mean, we should be in control of that. I mean, look, my grandmother, she owned a strip club. She was a stripper. My aunt was a stripper. You know, I have family that's in that. I have some siblings, some relatives that do even further stuff, if you know what I mean. I don't want to out them like that, but I'm just trying to put it out there. I don't judge nobody. I just personally
Mm,
I do
yeah,
shit when I feel sexy, and sometimes I feel like being turtleneck up. If that's what I want to do. Like you said, I want to be under my own discretion. You know?
I think it's important. I think it's important to keep your soul
yeah.
full, and keep your heart happy to do that.
Right. That's good. I feel like I got a lot off my chest because I swear some people. Whew, I feel like I'm kind of there's somebody in this industry that hates me so bad because I didn't take that path, and I'm
Mm,
trying to figure out how to get by it honestly because I do feel a little bit of restriction. But, it is what it is. It's all love to everybody, honestly, at the end of the day. I don't really have no ill will. Even my opponents, I don't have no ill will towards them no matter what they whoop. My light went out. But no ill will towards them if that's what they want to do with their life. It's just I'd love to be at peace. I want to just be another lane that people can follow, make their own lane if they want to. Shit, they could probably do differently than me. But I just want to be able to express myself honestly. I think that's what martial arts is all about.
yeah, yeah. Hey, randomly, um, are you a fan of Street Fighter? Because I saw the Chung Li fit, and I was
I
like,
was gonna say that too.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that was I don't really, I'm not really much of a gamer. I'm trying to get into it, but went back in the '90s and the early 2000s. Going to some of the arcades. Yeah, I love playing Street Fighter. That was I like Chun Li. I think she's fresh. She looks beautiful, and so I just wanted to recreate that. Uh,
She
yeah.
always had some of the coolest fits too.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
dude. I try to make it my own. It was honestly more revealing than. Oop, did we lose him?
I don't know what happened.
No, I'm still here, but my phone
Oh,
died.
okay.
His phone.
Ah.
So my camera died.
Okay.
So
Well, at least we got you.
yeah, we can still hear you, man. Because it's funny. Before you came on here, he couldn't figure out the audio situation, so or the camera situation on the computer. So he was running the audio through the computer and doing the camera with his phone. It was like the weirdest thing because like we've never ever done that before, and he was trying it out, and
It's
I guess
not trying it out. It's my fucking headphones got left in a hotel on tour, and I'm
well
waiting for my other ones to give you.
they didn't get left. You left them. Let's put it like
They got left by me. Yeah, they did get left by me.
yeah, by you, by you, by you. Um, yeah. So to wrap it up, I'm curious. Favorite fight moment for you of all time, and are there any fights that were on the table that didn't happen that you wanted to happen?
Of course. Well, I want to say that one of my favorite fight moments was my very first bare knuckle fight. Unfortunately, it's not really out there for people to see. I think that it was a phenomenal performance of my own. I got to fight my friend who she's currently she's imprisoned right now, but it was a very good fight. Shaq was in the house, Big Shaq. He
That's what's up.
yeah, he said that was his favorite fight of the night, and that was like surreal because like I mean he watched Shaq. He's like an investor of the BKFC, and so for him to say that that was his favorite, I mean that actually blew me away. And what better fight to have than with a friend? I feel like I fight a little better when there's no drama, unfortunately. I think now it's different. I can fight either way. I think it's tied with fighting El Brook. That was so fun to finally have my boxing debut, and she's such a superstar, you know, like it was real hard to be mean to her, but I know that I was the bad guy. So I mean, I got to be a villain fully without any repercussion because you know influencers love that shit versus actual fighters. Well, she's an actual fighter, but she's influencer first. And the fights that I really want, that I think is still possible, but it just kept getting taken from me was the Paige Van Zant fight. I would love to fight her first of all because beautiful pay, and second, I watched her my entire career. Like I've watched this woman, and she's a year younger than me, but she's been in the game longer than me, and so I've always, you know, kind of said, you know what, I know I made it when I get to fight someone like her. But she's over there getting slapped and shit now on that slap fighting or what I don't
Yeah,
even call it fighting.
yeah, that's the weirdest sport I think I've ever seen in my whole life.
The
Yeah, I
rules
don't even
make
know.
no sense.
I,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've actually blocked it. Every time I see it pop up, I get spammed by it because they know they really want us to watch it. I've blocked it because I'm just like, why would you let somebody smack you? Now I get it for the money, but what good is the money if you're not conscious? You got like brain damage.
Yeah,
You get smacked.
that's one okay, so that's not the that's one of the craziest sporting events that I've ever seen. But also, I don't know if you've ever seen this. I don't know if this was like a test run or something, but this was probably the craziest thing I ever saw. So instead of this goes back to the sex sells type idea, right? It was a woman only thing, and
Yeah.
it was literally instead of smacking faces, people were smacking they were smacking each other on the ass as hard as they could until their asses were bloody.
Oh
Oh
hell
God.
no.
I'm like,
The
Hell
what?
fuck?
no.
So I'm like, this is a sport. What the fuck are y'all doing?
That is some sadist ass shit. Who
I literally I only came across it one time randomly because I was just scrolling like the real shit, and then like I see the slap fighting shit, which is ridiculous to me. Like I said, I don't know why anybody would even do that shit. But randomly, this was a thing, and it was like on some professional shit. They were in a ring, like I was like, what the
You
fuck is
had
going
me
on?
until you said till it's bloody. Like
it was
so I'm like, oh,
bloody.
see if they're slapping the ass, like fine. Then they're not hitting the head. Like it's
Hey, that makes more
nobody
sense.
really gets
Yeah.
hurt. It makes sense.
Yeah,
So they're
bloody,
slapping it bloody. Like
bloody.
damn, you're gonna get some hemorrhoids going on in there. Some you're gonna get some crazy problems, dude. You can't be doing that.
I like the have you seen the I think it's like Muay Thai leg kicks where they kick each other until they can't take
Oh,
it
I
anymore?
have
I
seen that.
like
I
That
have
that's
not seen
pretty
that.
fire. Yeah.
I like that. That's sick. That's sick. I like that.
Yeah, that stuff is. I went down that rabbit hole when one of the guys that I did music with one time dropped a
Yeah.
project and he named it after Diesel Noy, and I was unfamiliar, so that I ended up having to look into that dude, and it was crazy to just watch like him fighting Muay Thai and like the knees that that guy would throw and people
Yeah.
would just take to the face. It's like, good lord, you guys are a rare breed.
Oh yeah. Man, it all comes down to Wolf's Law, I believe. Wolf's Law is where you create mini fractures, which we do in the BKFC or bare knuckle fighting, where you want to create miniature fractures because it comes back as like more cemented. It's
Hmm.
really interesting healing process that you know we do it to our shins, our arms, our elbows. That's why Muay Thai, in my opinion, the most badass of badass martial arts is probably Muay Thai or Lithway for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree from what I've seen because Muay Thai,
Yeah.
like, holy shit, this
Oh
guy's
yeah.
a, oh,
Eight limb sport right there. That's
yeah, I would not want to be involved
very short lived career.
in that. That's why it was crazy. Like that Diesel Noy guy fought like 130 fights.
Yeah, man. And they end up having like a short career because they take so much hits to the head and there's some soldiers though. I'll tell you what, that, I want to say wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling is like a pinch below that, but they take the cake as
Yeah.
like the most toughest motherfuckers out there.
Do you have I don't want to keep you too much longer, but do you have aside from Macho Man Randy Savage, do you have a fighting inspiration, like an inspirational fighter that stands out to you that inspires you to keep going?
Um, Outside of him, I want to say that there's two, and I'm gonna save the best for last. But I've always loved Genki Sudo. Um, I love that he was just so entertaining. He's just a badass man. And the final one is my boyfriend. He is a type 1 diabetic. He just got diagnosed 2021. And to see him get up every morning and train his ass off and go to work and provide for our family is just like unreal, like, I came back from my son's dad taking his life and then feeling pretty suicidal myself, but I can't die, if that makes sense. Like it's not an option to kill myself, but to want to at the same time. And then just to see him right after that, like a year later, get diagnosed with this terrible pancreatic chronic disease that he can't help. Like it's not like type 2. No offense to anybody that's got that. They've got their own problems, but this stuff just came over him like genetically, and so every day could be the last day for him. So to see him fight his ass off, to constantly be turned down. As a matter of fact, the last wrestling, my pro wrestling debut here in town, that was for him. That was his type 1 diabetes pro wrestling show called Type 1 Wrestling.
Mm.
And he's just doing that for just charity. So when somebody attends that show, they're actually uh, making a contribution to those who are that have this terrible chronic illness that we don't have a cure for. So yeah, like I know if anything, dude, for him to not feel like he wants to give up and he every day has to prick his finger, every day has to pump himself up with some insulin, or he has to always track that. I couldn't imagine thinking, well, if I eat too much of this or not enough of that, I'm gonna die today or go into a coma. Or he got to spend so much money every single month just to be alive. And
Yeah.
that's a real fighter right there. So he inspires me
Yeah.
like nobody.
Yeah, I mean, so that I mean, more power to him. Because yeah, the last part that you said is something that I think a lot of people don't realize. They think if you have a chronic illness that you would just be taken care of and that stuff would be, oh, that's covered by insurance, right? Not a lot of the times, not a lot of
No.
it, not the stuff you need,
Yep, he
like
pays it out of pocket.
yeah, it's all out of pocket. I've been there before with the ostomy stuff. Is like
Yeah,
at one point I was working the best job I've ever worked monetarily. I was making like close to six figures doing sales, and I was poorer than I've ever been because I had to spend like thousands a month to just afford to live. And it was like, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? Why, like,
yeah,
this makes no sense. This is bullshit. And then you
yeah.
got other people that don't have that. And I think that's great. Like, I don't wish that on anybody, but I do just wish that the people that are just supremely blessed health wise do something with it. Don't take it for granted. Use it while you have it. Because you never know. Like you said, he just got it in 2021, like went his whole life without any knowledge that was going to happen. It's like, just use your vitality while you have it. Because none of us know how long we have that.
Exactly, dude. I'm sorry that you have this illness because you know,
I'm
it's
not. It
something
made
that
me it made me who I am. So it's taught me so much. It's given me more than I've allowed it to take away from me. So it is like it's one of those weird things where it's like I really am not sorry that I got it because it's taught me so much at an early age that's allowed me to set myself up for a good life that I might have had a harder time doing
right,
if I was just a regular healthy man.
right. And that's where stories like yours inspire me to stay away from depression because it's just a lie. You know what I mean? It's something that we've got to live life to the fullest because, there's people out there like yourself that you kind of got to say, I mean, and not that you regret it, but like you got to start the race later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then try to finish it first. And that's a hell of a fight. And so people like yourself, people like my man, people that have cancer, you guys are the real fighters. You guys are number one. You guys are champions.
I mean, I appreciate it, and I do extend this sentiment to other people. It's always weird to keep keep that internalized, but it is something that I just think it's you never know what life's going to throw at you, and I think you just gotta. We have no idea what comes after this, right? I mean, some people have their thoughts and stuff, but none of us really know for certain. So it's like, well, but we do know we have this while we have it. So why not get as much out of it and enjoy it as much as you can and try to learn and grow as much as you can while you're here? Because what else are you gonna do, man?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, just like him, he inspires his own cousin who also has type 1. She is a little bit embarrassed by it, you know. She has her pump out of the way where you can't see it. And he has his on his arm. Well, it's not a pump, it's a sensor. And,
Sure.
you know, he and because he has it, he's able to show people like her who's, you know, she's a kid and she has to look forward to the rest of her life with this stuff. And hopefully they find a cure for it. I have faith they will. I have faith they'll have cures for all of this stuff because it's honestly why I have such a strong faith in God because I believe that there is an answer within Him. Um, this is how we've came far. You know, back in the day, they used to have to use I think it was pig insulin, and some people were allergic to it. So it's like we're
Mm.
fortunate to
Oh,
be in this time. Yeah, the things I've
yeah.
learned about diabetes has blown my mind and how far that our modern medicine has advanced. We just gotta keep on fighting the good fight and try to keep inspiring people to come together as that united genius to find these cures and solutions and just know that we're a lot of us are crawling so other people can walk and for other people to run and just be grateful to have the life and the people that are in that life with us to give us that inspiration essentially.
Yeah. Protect the nerds too. They're the ones that are gonna do all this and cure all this stuff. Leave them
Amen. That's why I'm
alone.
protecting my
Yeah.
son.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
this has been great, Jenny. I appreciate you being on here, and being a part of the podcast.
thank you for
Uh,
having me.
yeah, of course, of course. Um, yeah, I think we're end on that. That was, you know, very inspirational talk right there towards the end. So yeah, this has been the CyphaDen chat, where it's presented by CyphaDen Music. We inspire even those higher. Remember to never stop chasing your dreams because you will never know what you are fully capable.
Mhm.
And
And
yeah, we're
fuck
gonna leave.
Taco Escobar.
We're not telling that story tonight,
We
Pest. We're
don't
not
have
doing
to.
it.
I'm just saying that out there. You guys can all do your own research.
But again, Jenny Savage, appreciate you being a guest on the CypherDen Chat podcast. When the clips and everything come out, I will definitely tag you and let you know when the episode drops this Friday. Actually, it will be
Amen.
dropping this Friday. So stay in tune. Once again, appreciate you. I hope you have a lovely rest of your night and catch you next time.
See you,
Peace.
Yes. Much
families. Good
love.
to meet you
Yes.
guys.
Great to meet you too.
You
Thanks for
too.
Yes.
coming
All right.
through.
All right.
Much
All right,
love.
bet. Much
Peace.
love, homie.
Peace.